Hello, my beautiful love of the world. It's me, Queen Hammer, and I am going to do chapter. I don't know what chapter it is. Sorry. This ad's playing on my thing, but I will get to you as soon as possible. But it is cold. I don't feel good. Sorry. Love Potions Classroom. Love Potions Class. Chapter 10. Draco was beaming with excitement, like a kid on his birthday. It was the day of his and Harry's wedding, and he couldn't wait. He got out of bed, took a shower, and got dressed into the tux he bought last week with Harry. He went into the living room, but when he saw Harry there, he quickly stepped back behind the door. Harry noticed it, chuckled, almost pressing his lips against the door, said, "Babe, why are you hiding from me? Nervous or what? It's bad manner to see each other before the wedding." "All right, honey. See you there. I gotta go now." Harry chuckled, closing his eyes, walking through the door and out the front door. He got in their group big black car and drove off. Neville was the driver. Ginny was supposed to be the checkup person, but instead she locked herself in her room and cried. Draco's heart hurt to feel Harry beside him. To not feel Harry beside him or see him, but he knew the pain would eventually be worth it. Then, for some reason, he had a weird thought. He's only 17 years old. He was already going to have a kid this year, and he was getting married. Was this even normal? He always considered 28 an appropriate year for marriage, 32 for starting a family. Was it worth it? He shook the thought off. Of course it was worth it. He wanted this, and there was no turning back now. His life had changed so much. It was just so crazy. Maybe it was insane to say so, but it was even crazier than himself. He stood in front of the mirror, thinking of his life so far and how he was going to raise his kids. He used a spell he always used to hide, so he could now big stomach and went out of the door. Neville had returned already and was ready to fetch Draco. Draco climbed in the car beside Neville and looked out the window for the entire ride. "Big day, huh?" "Yeah, I'm worried. What if something goes wrong?" "Come on, Draco. What could go wrong? You and Harry are a perfect couple. You were expecting a child. We are all equipped with magic wands to defend you and ourselves. But we are not allowed to use magic, aren't we? I mean, I had to sign at least 3 contract parchments to be able to use pregnancy hiding spells." "So did we, but for defense magic." "Wow, impressive and thoughtful." Neville smirked, took a sharp turn to a beautiful park. There was the car. They could see a big black heavy book stand, a big white sheet of cloth hanging above it. It was clipped into the big white detailed carved marble poles, encrusted with diamond roses. A long red carpet led from the car to the white stand, where Harry already stood. All their friends and Draco's family already sat on great diamond rose-encrusted benches, and there were all facing him. At the side stood a table with a wedding cake and other treats. It was humongous, long and surrounded by dozens of beautiful white, stuffy, comfy chairs. Neville got out of the car with a pillow on which lay 2 beautiful gold rings with obviously 2 diamond roses. Draco's name was on Harry's ring, and Harry's name was on Draco's. Everything was beautiful and looked pretty expensive. Draco climbed out as well, looking hot as hell. His tattoos were embellished him well. His blonde with black tips hair, looking good and hot. Draco looked to his side and Lucius was standing there, offering him a hand. Draco was utterly surprised as he called his father a few days ago to tell him everything from start to end. From when he fell in love with Potter, since the love potions class, and his pregnancy and engagement. He asked him if he could walk him down the aisle, as Draco was apparently the girl between the two. He remembered Lucius being surprisingly accepting, but saying that he would think about it, and didn't call back. Draco took his father's hand, who was now smiling proudly at his son. Instead, Lucius's head, he was not really happy, but that Draco was gay, and that he found out about it only a few days ago. He wasn't happy Draco fell in love with Potter, neither. Neither was he pleased with Draco was moving on so fast at such a young age, but he decided to make at least one thing in his son's life right, and made the right choice. Lucius walked Draco down the aisle, towards Harry. He led him there, let go of his fragile son's hand, and stepped over to the side next to Narcissa. He was wiping tears from his eyes like Snow White with a Snow White handkerchief. My dad keeps on texting me, I'm sorry. He's getting into a new recipe with naan bread. Don't ask. He's trying to go on keto. Draco took his place in front of Harry, who was beaming at him encouragingly. It was time for their speeches, and Harry was ready and prepared for his. He took a deep breath and spoke. Draco, I remember when I first met you. You were a complete opposite of me. A perfect, proud Malfoy. Always trying to get on my Potter nerves and get my ass in trouble. You were confused and didn't know what path to take. You were manipulated and used. All of a sudden, in Love's Potions class, we fell for each other ever so quickly, and now we are here. Before me, I still see a very courageous Slytherin, perfect Mr. Malfoy. That was also a prefect, as I used to call you. But I would be honored to call you Mr. Potter for the rest of my life, if you would let me do so. I want this a lot, and this is because I love you, Draco. be my love for the rest of my life." Everyone awed and clapped quietly, awaiting Draco's speech. Draco found it hard to say the first words, as he simply just wanted to cry of happiness. Harry's speech melted his heart, and he wanted nothing else, but he pulled himself together and forced back the tears and spoke. "I love you too, Harry. You have no idea how much this means to me. You are a very special kind of person I never had in my life. You are very loving, caring, funny, interesting, encouraging, supporting, handsome, and many other things. I've been crushing on you since third year and tried to help and get your attention as best I could. Apparently, that didn't really work out well as the war started. Now that it is over, I can finally walk over to the right side and be with the person I love and care for the most. That person is you, Harry, and no one else. You are the reason I don't give up in life and keep going." Everyone clapped, and this time Harry was the one to fight his emotions. The two men couldn't stop smiling as they stood before each other, waiting to get the next step of the staircase. The priest, by the heavy book, have the book stand, opened the book to the right page, and wrote out his own speech, addressing each boy at this time. "We have all gathered here today to celebrate the marriage of the lovely couple. These two have been through a lot in their life and finally found each other. Harry Potter, do you take Draco Potter under your surname?" "I do." "Do you agree to love, treasure, and dedicate your life to him?" "I certainly do." I was going to quote Princess Bride. "Marriage is what brings us together today." I need to get a life, but I don't have one, so. The priest turned to Draco, who was doing a good job at holding himself back from jumping on the spot. "Same." Draco mouthwide, "Do you agree to take Harry Potter's surname and become his loyal and loving husband?" "Most certainly, yes." Just get it on with. Me too. "Do you agree to spend your life with him in peace and loyalty, become a family, and share your love with him?" "I do." Neville, being their best man, brought up, "Wait, oh yeah, because they're in school. Oh, I feel so bad for Ron. Oh man, he must suck. He must feel really, really sad because he's not the best man. Oh no." Brought up the soft pillow with two gorgeous rings on it. He stood between Draco and Harry, holding out the pillow towards them. The two took rings and put it on each other's fingers, counting down seconds until the final step. "You may kiss," announced the priest, and Neville walked out of the big frame. Harry took Draco's fragile and soft hands. He put them on his heart, pulling the blonde closer. His hair was bright pink, and his eyes were of a shiny, loving marble red. He pulled Draco into a loving kiss, which spread a love through both of them. This was it. They were now married, and life was almost complete. There was still a child to give birth to and raise. Everyone stood up and cheered loudly. Lucius looked proudly at his son's manners and clapped in his rich man slow way. Narcissa, on the other hand, was beating her hands raw, tears streaming down her eyes. The two boys turned around and walked back down the carpet aisle, hand in hand. white rice. Hey, that can't be actually true. Did you know a fact about white rice and why people don't use white rice anymore is because birds would eat the white rice and then drink something, and then it would swell up in their stomach and kill them. So that's why you don't use white rice in a wedding. Was thrown to them along with shiny white rose petals. That's what you need to do. You need to do petals and glitter. Glitter? Oh hell no! That's gonna be on your skin for weeks. Okay, they walked over to the table along with others and took 2 head seats at the top end of the table. After they opened their presents, which were amazing, and had their cake, shared the many hugs and compliments with friends and family, they were exhausted but utterly happy. Harry? Yes, love? Thank you for everything. I love you so fucking much. This is the best day of my life, honey. I love you too. I am so happy we are finally able to bind ourselves together without being judged. I could scream to the whole world that you're mine and prove it with the ring if I had to. Drago smiled and kissed his husband. Everything was going to be good now. Oh my. Oh no. Spoilers. Okay, guys. I have a shout out for y'all. Let me get to the shout out. It was a screenshot. Where are ya? No. I have a screenshot of it. Oh, there was this person, they asked for a screenshot, but then they deleted their comment. But I'm gonna give them a shout out anyway. I think that's Jasmine, because that's how my friend spells her name, Jasmine. I call her Jay though, but Richardson. Jasmine Richardson. That's my shout out for the day. Also, I have some words of wisdom. Because I'm mad. Okay, it doesn't smell like weed in here. I said that online. Okay, anyways, here's my word of wisdom. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Stay in school, kids, and don't do drugs, especially the herbal kind. What am I kidding? Bye!